Other than showing up naked on a video chat and being filthy dirty.
A deal breaker. It's a turn off, especially when he's complaining about small things. It's a turn off.
Yeah. What's the single worst thing a man can do to...
Good morning.
Today, what turns off a Filipina, and who better to tell us than a beautiful Filipina? Stick around. We're going to tell you a short list of things that Filipina women consider turn-ons. That'll be at the end. But first, Chrissy, you're telling me a funny joke.
The qualification for an ideal wife here in the Philippines, she should be pretty, she should be faithful, she should take care of the husband, take care of the children and the family, cook food for them, do the laundry, do the cleaning, do the groceries. And
the ideal husband?
And the ideal husband should be like this. He should give money to the wife for groceries, give money if she's lonely, give money for holidays, give money for birthdays, give money even if she don't need it, and just give money.
Give money. So, guys, you've heard that, you're going to be the sought-after commodity. You're the it here. You go online, you get 300 immediate hustlers chasing after you, people wanting to tell you you're all that. You're 65 and you now became a 30-year-old sex symbol. There's a lot of truth in that. You are a desired commodity. And you will hear on the bulletin boards, on the Facebook groups, on other vlogs, just show up with a thick wallet and you don't need any other qualifications. But today, we're going to talk to you about what if you meet a bingo? What if you meet a woman who is really the top prospect, your top prospect? And other men are going to identify this woman as a top prospect too. So you might have to actually compete to win her over because she's exceptional, like my Chrissy, and you don't want to have a lot of bad habits. And so, even though Filipinas will be highly attracted to a man of means who can reorientate their financial situation, if they have choices, if there are 10 men from the West that are seeking their heart, that want to move them to Great Britain, want to move them to Australia, want to move them to Beverly Hills, or maybe like me, want to stay here in the Philippines, there's a little bit of competition when that ideal Filipina shows up. Now, there's a joke on the internet. These two detectives in Las Vegas, they have this chart and they show how pretty a woman is and how crazy she is. And it's really funny if you haven't seen it. But then at the very end, after 10 minutes of explanation of unicorns and, crazy women who are good looking, but a little too crazy, they talk about how women see the world. And they break it down very simply. If a man on a scale of 1 to 10, if his wealth is 5 or higher, women say marry him. And if he doesn't have wealth of 5 or higher, but he's 8 or higher good looking, they say date him. So that you don't want to be that guy between under 5 and below 8 in looks, because then a woman will have nothing to do with you. So today we're going to talk to you about what are the turnoffs. If you have to compete for a Filipina, if you want to put your best foot forward, what are those turnoffs? And we've got a short list of turnoffs here. Let's talk about them. Number one, I've heard this over and over and over again. Hygiene is really important to a Filipina.
Yes, because I think hygiene, it doesn't matter if you're in a higher class, lower class, or in a middle class. Yeah, you have to look at your nails. So I think women in general, they are very particular in hygiene. So, yeah, it's one of the
nails, and I've heard over and over, nails. They really take a look at your nails.
Yes.
And your shoes.
And your shoes.
What else?
So, and how you dress up.
How you smell?
And how you smell. Maybe on a first date, if you don't smell good, then it could be a turn off.
What if a man is a complainer? He's a little bit negative and his emotional maturity is a little bit, not elevated. What if Filipinos in general, my perception is they don't like complainers more than the average woman. Women don't like complaining. Nobody likes complaining.
Yes.
But in general, I've noticed Filipinos, they don't complain because they stand in line for hours. They don't complain.
We're more patient. And for us, complaints are stressful. It's a turn off, especially when he's complaining about small things. So you will just imagine how serious the complaint will be when it's when it comes to a bigger issue.
Yeah,
So,
like money,
yeah.
like maybe like money, huh? Disrespectful behavior towards others.
Oh,
Being like, I guess that's like rude to the waiters, or maybe
yes.
rude to your neighbors, or rude to the drivers, the other drivers on the road, even.
Yeah, if you shout on someone on the road, shout the vendor, or like belittling others because you're disrespectful to most of the people, that's really a turned off.
Now, here in the Philippines, in Asia, there's this concept of saving face. So if someone's being disrespectful to a waiter or a vendor, you would be more sensitized to it. Like most women wouldn't care for it. Here in the Philippines, this concept of saving face, ever since you're little, it's like everybody works so hard not to embarrass other people. If somebody's belittling regular people or service employees, Filipina is going to pick up on that with much more sensitivity.
Yeah, because we will be too embarrassed that, I'm with you and you were belittling this person. So people might think that we are in the same
Attitude.
attitude.
So do you think a Filipina could put up with it? Like if it turned out the man likes to belittle waiters and service employees and his neighbors and the other drivers on the road, could she bear it? Would she, even if he had money, could she live with it year after year?
I don't think so.
No, it would get to her.
If it's me,
Deal breaker?
that's one of the deal breakers.
Okay. What if the man is too quiet? He fails to communicate effectively. A lot of men are not really good communicators. Or they can, but they just don't want to talk about it. So if something's important to you and you can't get your man to engage you in a conversation effectively, what do you think?
Well, I believe that communication is really important in a relationship, and if he cannot maintain a good communication, I think your relationship will not work. But if it's just his nature that he's quiet when around with someone else, but he can communicate with you, I think I can put up with that.
Would you worry that he wouldn't open up to you even in it face to face? He just won't kind of like really connect.
Here in the Philippines, our parents always say that if you talk a lot, you will sometimes carelessly say words and you will offend someone. But if you will talk less, it's safe.
The men are very quiet here in the Philippines. Like it's hard to get to know the men. They don't share a lot.
Maybe around you.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, but around just all Filipinos, they could be very noisy.
Well, man, he shows up online. He's just ready to rock and roll. He decided Filipinas are cute. He's going to give it a try, but he just hasn't put the time in to figure out the culture.
That is a thing that's manageable. If he is teachable, then that can be processed, over time. So it's not really a turn off. But if a woman's preference is just a man that already studied Philippines, then that could be a turn off to her.
Here in the Philippines, there's a lot of gender equality understanding when it comes to ladyboys, when it comes to homosexuality.
Yeah.
You don't see a lot of outward judgmental, and people are very sensitive. People don't talk about it in a negative way. What if a man lets you know that he's got intolerance in that area? Now he's heterosexual, you're heterosexual, but just he makes offhanded, insensitive comments about people's sexuality. How would you react?
If he will humiliate someone because of that act, that can be a turn off. But if he only have his perspective and opinion about it towards me, and only the two of us talk about it, it's okay.
But what do you think when he's so harsh and sharing his opinions? Do you feel like he's not open-minded and, you're going to have to deal with this going forward?
It's his own opinion and perspective. That's how he feel about it. Okay. So I can't say it's not valid that he feel like that.
Right.
But when it comes to the point that he will humiliate someone online or in person because they're gay or they're bisexual like that, that could be like a big turn out there.
But he's allowed to have an opinion.
Allowed to have opinion, everybody.
Okay.
Yes.
What if his personality is not flexible and you sense that he's not willing to compromise? It's his way or the highway, maybe.
Well, if you will put up with it, your relationship will not work. Because, in a relationship, you have to compromise, you have to understand, you have to adjust.
But he's worked his whole life. He's 65 years
Yeah.
old. He's salted away a small fortune. He's ready to share it with a Filipina, and he just wants her to be subservient, maybe, or he's okay with her having an opinion as long as he always gets the last word.
It could be a turn off. Because, it should be a give and take. And if you don't have that kind of attitude to give, all you need to do is just to be followed and to take whatever you wanted to do. It's a turn off to a Filipina, because as a Filipina, we don't like to be just a follower and, just to do whatever you want. We also have wants, and we also want to be heard and listened and, followed sometimes.
So two men, they're similar backgrounds. They're both from the same country. They both have a similar financial stability. And one of them's just a little bit bossy and know-it-all. You're going to pick up on that right away.
The other one is...
Well, the other one's got a flexible personality.
I'll go with the flexible.
Okay.
That's problem.
All right, that's what I was trying to find out. You're talking to two or three men, and one puts too much emphasis on his material possessions, his car, his house, his art, his expensive iPhone, and he shares that a lot. On one hand, it's nice that he has financial stability, but would you prefer a man who didn't share that?
I would prefer a man that won't brag about any expensive things, If I am a person that has other interest towards a man, like I just want his money, that will feed her intention. So it could be like a go signal to someone else, but for me, it's too much bragging.
Yeah. You're afraid he would do it around your family?
Yeah, and it's a turn off.
Yeah. What if you sense that he didn't have a lot of compassion or empathy towards other people?
Oh, that's turn off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so, if he talks about a sister who's having a hardship, but he says she brought it on herself, and he talks about relatives or friends who have problems, but he doesn't seem to be compassionate or empathetic, you're going to pick up on that right away.
Yeah.
Can you do anything with that kind of person, or would that be a deal breaker?
A deal breaker.
Yeah.
For me, a person without an empathy towards others is selfish.
Yeah. I think they say serial killers, their one common similarity is they lack empathy. What about some men put on this steel jacket? They never show any vulnerability. What do you think of a man that's kind of got that exterior steel wall?
It's a turn off for me, because for me, if I want to know a person, I want to know the person inside and out. And if he's not willing to show his the real him in front of me, then I can't love him. So it's a turn off.
Okay. If a man kind of disregards the importance of family bonds, or just doesn't want to talk about it, doesn't want to hear you out, doesn't want to see your point of view, doesn't understand the strength of the family bond, you're going to want to, even if he doesn't share, you're going to want to sift that out and sort that out early on, aren't you?
Yeah. For me, it's a total turn off, because I grew up in a culture which the family bonds is really tight. I am close to my family, and I think most Filipino are. And if a man do not value his family, I'm sure that he will not value the future family or your family in the future, And also, for a Filipina like me, that they have already children, son, they will not be confident that that kind of person will love their children,
So what kind of early signs would you try and pick up on? Would you introduce the subject and see how he is open to discussing it? Or
Yes.
What would you want to know, and what kind of things would really turn you off early on?
If he's not close to his family and he have hatred to one of his family
So you
members.
might ask him to talk about his relationship. Okay, Chrissy, we had to move because the camera overheated, but we were talking about family.
Yes.
There's a reason to get overheated when somebody doesn't really value family. So you were saying you're going to ask him about his mother's
Yes.
relationship with his parents and his siblings. And if he's got a really lousy relationship and he doesn't give a darn about family and he's willing to move to the Philippines to get away from family, it might be a little bit of a turnoff.
Yes, because if you can't love your own family, you can't love family of your partner.
What about men that enjoy drinking? Maybe they smoke cigarettes. Maybe they enjoy a cigar. Maybe they have some extreme hobbies like mountain climbing, rock climbing that could be dangerous. What are your thoughts on some unhealthy habits?
Unhealthy habits, that is something that is very difficult to take away from a person who have done that throughout his life, you know.
Yeah.
So I will not expect that he can change that. But for me personally, I would not prefer a person like that.
Would you get involved with someone who was a heavy drinker?
I don't think so. If it's just moderate, I think I can. Yeah, well, I'm just lucky that you don't drink. But if it happened that you drink a little
Anymore.
or use cigarette, you
Just because I'm getting older, I don't think the alcohol's good for me.
you know,
But I used to.
if you happen that you drink a little and you smoke a little, I can put up with that. Not really a total.
Like cigarette breath,
Turn
the
out.
smell of cigarettes, you could deal with it?
Yeah, we can find solution if you are really like that.
Okay, so moderation is a Filipina,
Moderation,
yeah,
yeah.
but not your idea. If two candidates were identical and one smoked and was a moderate drinker, you would pick the other one.
Yeah. So if we are in an age gap relationship, the health of your partner really matters to you because you don't want to be widowed
Right
at an
away.
early age.
Right.
So it's very important.
Yes,
Yeah. So if it's possible,
healthy.
healthy.
Okay. What if he's insecure and jealous? You get what you give, right? What if he's insecure and jealous? Is there room for two insecure and jealous people in a relationship? You know, Filipinos are all insecure and jealous. So if the man's insecure and jealous,
Yeah.
that's like 10 pounds of sausage in a 5-pound wrapper.
Yeah. So too jealous person in a relationship is not good.
Not good.
One
So
is enough.
when you're first meeting, if you sense that insecurity and jealousy, you're not going to like it.
Yeah, because he will tend to be very much controlling if he shows something like that.
Yeah. So other than showing up naked on a video chat and being filthy dirty, what's the single worst thing a man can do to put a really bad impression forward? What if he's unreliable and he never shows up on time for the video chats and he says he can call, but he's not, he comes up with excuses that he can't call, and you can never count on him to show up for video chat when he says.
Red flag for
Red
me.
flag.
Yeah.
Yeah. But can you think of anything that would be a really bad look for a Western man, for a Filipino that we haven't mentioned?
What else?
What if he shares his past girlfriend experiences, or if he dated another Filipino, he wants to tell you all about it?
I think it's fine because it's part of getting to know each other and part of getting to know what's your past experiences. But bringing it up all the time, I don't think if it's good.
Not a good thing. So, what if the man is extremely respectful and sensitive?
Oh, I like that.
There you go. There was like an honest reaction.
Yeah, I like that. Respectful and sensitive.
Good hygiene we talked about. Do you like that in a man? Mm-hmm. You look for it.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, you're a really hygienic person.
Thank you. Positive attitude and emotional maturity.
Yes.
You want that. You're looking for it.
Positive attitude because, you know, I'm not 100% positive in my attitude.
So you need your partner to be really positive.
I need, so that it can, you know, it can influence me to be like really positive.
Okay. All right. Family-oriented and respectful to Filipino culture.
Hi.
Really
Hi,
important.
hi.
Really important.
Yeah.
Don't
Family is really
mess that one
important.
up. Communication and the ability to be a good listener.
Yes, because I'm talkative. For me, because I am talkative.
Yeah.
Yes.
Ambitious and hardworking. Now, a lot of these guys are retired and they're not looking, they want to play golf and hang around all day with a beautiful Filipina at the beach.
Yeah, I like that because ambitious and hardworking is really a good pair.
Yeah.
You have ambition and you work on it. But if it's like you're just ambitious but you're lazy, well, it's a negative output. It will have
They don't
negative
usually,
output.
yeah, those two usually go together. Sense of humor and the ability to make you smile.
Important.
Religious or respectful towards your religion?
Oh, okay. So I want someone that is respectful towards my religion. Because if he is religious and he wants me to believe what he believes, that could be a conflict between you two. But if he's not religious but he respects your religion, it's much better.
And so I asked you once, or we played that game with the 36 questions.
Yeah.
And one of the questions was, what's too serious to joke about? And you said?
Religion.
Yeah. Have I joked about it since?
Yes, you did.
Once.
Yes, you did. It wasn't really offensive.
I learned my lesson. Just the one time.
That's okay.
Yeah. I tested. I had to test it, see if she's really serious. Committed and loyal to a relationship.
Oh, yeah.
One of the comments to our last video said, if she's talking to you, she's talking to another Western man also. Do you believe that to be true?
Yes.
Yes. So they might have to put their best foot forward. Mm-hmm. They're juggling prospects. Mm-hmm. They're trying to find their best opportunity.
Yes.
And if you find a Filipina, like I found Chrissy, and if you think that no one else has two eyes and two ears and a sense for what's really above average and what's extraordinary, and you can just like show up on camera sweaty and have dirty fingernails, or show a lot of aggressive opinions, or some of the turnoffs that we've talked about, you'd be mistaken to think that she didn't have other opportunities. Now here, there's a different equation. You're the commodity, but if you have 100 Filipinas and 5 of them are beautiful and educated and talented and they are the cream of the crop, they are going to attract more than the average number of prospects. And just because you found her and she's entertaining your inquiries doesn't mean you can let it all hang out, gentlemen. So Chrissy's shared with you the turn-offs and the turn-ons. We hope you take them to heart. We wish you the best from Fly Me to the Philippines.
See you in our next video.